Guys, what's going on? Do you feel like no one understands you? You feel like you're the odd one out? You feel like you're different? If so, this video is for you. Here's what I'm talking about. You're a stone, not a brick. I'll explain. So this message was inspired by Myron Golden, right? On a teaching talking about how when you look at God, the kingdom of God, right? God made us in his image, right? And we all have different talents. We have different abilities. We have different ways that we're going to bring about people serving them. Different ways we're going to bring about doing good in this world through Christ. And you have to understand that you're made unique for a reason. You're not the same as someone else, but that's by intention. And when you try to be someone else, you're failing because you'll never be what you're called to be. And it sucks that so many people, they try to be different versions of themselves that really aren't themselves. And what I mean is you have you. Instead, you go ahead and put a cloak over who you really are to try to emulate some other people. And I'm not saying you can't be inspired by other people, maybe peep some game and move on. But when you make a different version from yourself than what God made you to be, I think that's definitely living in falsehood. And that's a super dangerous thing, because this is something that Myron says in the video. When you look at the kingdom of the world, they build bricks. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing about bricks. They're all the same. Take out a brick, replace it with another brick, but there's no exact same stone. They can be similar, but the exact stone, the roughness, all that stuff in nature, it's not the exact same thing. And that's how God made you. You're not easily replaceable. Doesn't mean that if you keep tripping, God can't use someone else to do the mission, because don't get it twisted. But I'm talking about how you are made. There's only one of you in this whole world, this whole universe. So you have to tap into what potential you have. You have to tap into what ability you have and use it, and really make sure that you really go in for the kingdom in that area. And you have to understand too, when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationships, worst thing you can do is try to be someone you're not. Be the best version of yourself, but not the best version of another version of yourself that's not you. Be the best version of who you actually really are. Because you have to understand this, you can be a people pleaser or you can be a God pleaser and a people server. You know what I'm saying? Which one do you want to be? And I promise you, it's always better to be the latter than to be the former. Because when you live a form of someone else, you'll only end up miserable. You'll only end up unfulfilled. And you have to keep in mind, success isn't having money. Having money is a byproduct of success when it comes to being done the right way with God. And you can have money and not be successful. Because here's what I'm talking about. What being successful really is doing that thing that God calls you to do and doing it in the fullness, in the way that God called you to do it. And it's impossible to do that if you're doing something else. So please be encouraged. If you feel like you're going through a season of life where you feel like you're misunderstood, you feel like other people don't understand you, what you're doing, people are maybe kind of talking mess about your walk. When I say your walk, I'm not saying like you're going against the Bible, but your walk, meaning like your calling, you're doing something that's unfamiliar. It's okay. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. Because a great point that Myron made is that people, like, they're not supposed to understand your assignment. Like, it's not them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're you. Like, imagine this, right? If you're calling to be a professional athlete, right? And they're like, bro, why don't you just be a teacher, man? Only 1% of people make it as professional athletes, Bro, if that's what your calling is from God, it doesn't matter, bro. Forget what all the voices say, because at the end of the day, you answer to God, not to people. You know what I'm saying? God's the ultimate authority. Doesn't mean go and disrespect people for no reason, but you have to keep in mind that you can't live your life for other people. You need to live your life for God and serve the people that he puts on your path. The biggest mistake you can do is live like someone else, and people do it too many times. I'm telling you, bro, if God put it in your heart to be a musician, better pick up that instrument, your voice, your words, rapping, or, playing whatever it is. Pick up your path and do what you're supposed to do, and stop trying to be Betty or Sue. I'm telling you, bro, because you're going to lose the battle. You're going to lose the duel. I'm telling you. And I see it too many times. Everyone's trying to be the same person. You'll never be that person. You'll only be second place at best. Why not be first place in the lane that God really called you in? Like, why settle for second place for some money? Bro, you can get money doing the thing God actually called you to do. You know what I'm saying? If that's his calling for your life, if you're able to handle that money, if it's not going to destroy you, if your heart's in the right place, dude, you can do that thing and actually get that stuff. It might be a different path. It might be a little bit more scary because it's not as proven, but you have to understand, I'm not saying to reinvent the whole wheel, guys. I'm not saying to go ahead and try to make all these new principles that probably won't work. What I'm saying is you don't have the same path that anyone else have, and that's for a reason. Be you. Don't be anyone else. Be a stone, not a brick. Because you're fearfully and wonderfully made. That's in Psalms by David.